one thing.
Okay, how about the Donetsk region?
Non-informed.
Okay, again, this is like very basic
Inform me then.
Ukrainian.
Inform me then.
No, again, I'm not going to spend time educating on stuff that you can find at ChatGPT. Here's the point, okay? Here's the critical point, okay? Which is that this is now a question over geography. And so I'm not going to dialogue with you on it if you don't even know the main towns that are in question.
So do you think all the U.S., you're just talking about old territories owned by the USSR? Like, that's just what we're talking about.
No, that's currently Russian-controlled land because of the war. The question is, should they keep it or not? That is what's being negotiated.
Yeah, but I'm arguing if they're invading more. I'm not arguing for keeping any land. I'm arguing for if they should continue to invade more land and what's keeping them from invading more land, which you won't answer.
Yeah, okay, again, the minerals deal, part of it is a security agreement. Number two, we should actually have a warmer relationship with Russia, which would prevent Russian expansion throughout Ukraine.
Pussies, yes.
Well, okay, again, it's easy for you to say that. Do you think it was wrong for us to work with Russia to defeat the Nazis?
No, because Russia, it wasn't as... Bro, Russia...
Hey, my love, so you're welcome back to my channel. It's your girl BB Harry Fools, and I'm back again for another reaction video. So I bring to you Charlie Cake, and the title of this one is Charlie Cake Destroys Cookie Guests, Claiming America's Too Weak on Russia's. Charlie Cake destroys cookie guests, claiming Americans is too weak on Russia. Guys, I can't wait for us to watch this. I believe this is gonna be a heated one. It's gonna be a banger, right? So without further ado, without wasting much of our time, let's get right into this video.
That's a Dennis Rodman shirt.
Thank you. Yeah, it's tough, huh? I've been trying to talk to you for years, man. It's crazy. You know Destiny, right? You have to, right?
Know of him, yes.
Oh, bro, debate him, please. But I'm the second best thing. Okay. So I think I'm gonna start. That pulling out of Ukraine, do you think it ruined America's reputation around the world? I think so. So I want to hear your opinion on it. Then we can chat about it.
What do you mean by pulling out of Ukraine? What do you mean by that?
We basically pulled out the funding for Ukraine, America, Trump.
Yeah, I mean, we've frozen it. Yeah, but we're also brokering peace, which I think would improve America's standing around the world for sure. We need to end this war, end the slaughter of all the people between the Russian and
we need to end it the right way. Ending war isn't always the best thing, in my opinion. You need to end it the right way.
And what would that mean? Millions more people dead?
No, it would actually mean fighting off Russia with economically. We need to add more sanctions. Sanctions is number one. Sanctions will kill
You know
Russia
Trump
off.
did that last week, right?
Yeah, that's right. No, whoa. Everything Trump does is not a bad thing. I need everybody here to know that. Everything Trump does is not a bad thing.
No,
Trump
we agree.
does some good things.
A lot of
but
good
a lot of bad things. So America has went down the tank economically, too. I hate to switch topics like this, but... Economic, yeah, I know.
So we're off. Actually, no. We're off Ukraine, or we're on economics.
We're gonna stay with Ukraine. We're gonna stay with Ukraine. So we promised Ukraine that we would stay in there if we took their nukes away. Right? We're gonna take your nukes away, and then we're gonna help you. So I mean, do you agree that we made a promise with Ukraine to continue to defend them? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, Biden did, of course. But the question is, at what cost and what expense? And how much money have we spent on the Ukrainian war?
I'll answer that right after I do this. Actually, I'll answer first. How much money have we spent? A shit ton. I agree. It's so actually
300 billion.
And most of that, you know where most of that is from? Old military weaponry. We take our old military weapons, since we haven't been a war for like for forever. We just have old military weaponry sitting around. We have old military weaponry sitting around. We have old military weaponry sitting around. So we ship it to Ukraine so we don't have to pay it.
First of all, that's not true. We spent down our reserves. We gave them new F-35s. We gave them new ballistic missiles. We gave them new Tomahawk missiles. We gave them new Javelin missiles. The Javelin is not antiquated technology. And not to mention that our own reserves and our own capacity to fill our armaments has now been depleted because of Ukraine. Do you know we've also written checks
to jump right there?
I'm sorry, what?
We're going to jump? Because most of the allocated funds are...
I'm going to keep going. We also put money straight into
I got to cut you off. I'm so sorry.
Straight into their pension system.
I got to cut you off, man.
We put money
you just said a bunch of stuff, and I got to respond to it. So most of the funds that are allocated to Ukraine are old weaponry. That is a fact. That is absolutely a fact. I'm surprised you didn't know that, but you can't just...
Again, it's just not true. So we are funding their pension system.
Look it up.
We are funding their entire government. The entire Ukrainian government is supported by wire transfers done from the Western
UN
world.
And US, I agree.
Not to mention, the missiles that they are actually firing are not, quote, outdated. They're ones that we should actually be able to use against the cartels.
No, I agree with that, because we are developing...
I don't want to spend too much time on this because...
Really? This is super important. This is the biggest political aspect ever, because we're losing foreign trust. We're losing foreign trust. You don't think so?
No, again, of course not. What does
Really?
peace look like in Ukraine? Tell me the exact latitude and longitude that will make you happy. And is Crimea Russia's or Ukraine's?
I don't care about Crimea. It can be Russia's or
That's the
Ukraine's.
most important part of the entire
No, it's
war,
not.
man.
This
That's
is my
literally the
this
last
is my,
point of negotiation.
You want my opinion? This is my opinion. I totally agree. Way too many deaths have happened in Ukraine. I understand the other perspective that that millions of people died in Ukraine and we want that to stop any way possible. But this way that we're doing it is not correct. If we're allowing Russia to just take the land and just take the land and have no repercussions, what's stopping them from doing it again? Nothing. Nothing stopping them from doing it again. We need precautions. They already broke 3 agreements so far. Please tell me what's going to stop Russia from just doing it again. What's going to stop them?
Again, so first of all, you come from the wrong premise.
Get a load of this.
You come from the incorrect premise, as if
so?
that we are not currently being tough on Russia, and that we're not currently being tough on them.
Bro, we're slopping on them right now. What are
And
you talking about? Trump is
we have
slopping on that
sanctions,
shit, bro.
we have tariffs.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cuss. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but again, I just want to be very perfectly clear, which is we've spent $250 to $300 billion here. You say you don't care about Crimea, and so if you don't care
You're
about
going to harp on that point?
yeah, it's okay. Do you care about the Donbass?
Yeah, I care about it.
Okay, so what
I
part
care
of the,
about it,
so
but that's
name-
not my argument.
Do you care about Mariupol? Do you think Mariupol is Russia or Ukraine's?
Not informed on Mariupol.
Okay, then this is not even a discussion we're
It's
having.
not a
then.
discussion
No,
because I
if you
can't
don't-
be
it's-
informed on one thing.
Okay, how about the Donetsk region?
Not informed.
Okay, again, this is like very basic
Inform me then.
Ukrainian.
Inform me then.
No, again, I'm not going to spend time educating on stuff that you can
Got
find
you.
at ChatGPT. Here's the point, okay? Here's the critical point, okay? Which is that this is now a question over geography. And so I'm not going to dialogue with you on it if you don't even know the main towns that
so
are in
do you
question.
think all the U.S. You're just talking about old territories owned by the USSR? Like that's just what we're talking
no,
about.
that's currently Russian-controlled land because of the war. The question is, should they keep it or not? That is what's being negotiated.
Yeah, but I'm arguing if they're invading more. I'm not arguing for keeping any land. I'm arguing for if they should continue to invade more land and what's keeping them from invading more land, which you won't answer.
Yeah, okay, again, the minerals deal, part of it is a security agreement. Number 2, we should actually have a warmer relationship with Russia, which would prevent Russian expansion
Because
throughout
we're
Ukraine.
pussies, yes.
Well, okay, again, it's easy for you to say that. Do you think it was wrong for us to work with Russia to defeat the Nazis?
No, because Russia, it wasn't as... Bro, Russia... We can... Whoa. Please don't think I'm stumbling. First of all, Germany is 1,000 times worse than Russia is right now. Like... I'm actually coming from a normal perspective on this. Like you're saying, it's reasonable to say we're losing too many Ukrainians. Like, I understand that. That's why letting them have some land is almost understandable to me. But what's not understandable is that we have nothing to prevent them from taking more. I feel like you would agree with this. We need stronger, reasonable, like, lining to make sure they don't just break another deal. You know how many deals they broke already?
And
3.
we broke
They
a lot of
3
deals. You know, we broke a lot of deals too. We said NATO would not expand eastward. We said we would not involve No, we broke that deal. That was America.
Yeah, I know. That's
So
my point. We're fucking sucking right now.
No, dude. You understand? NATO expansion happened before Trump. Like, you got to calm down, man. Like,
No, this is too serious to be calm, man.
George W. Bush broke the NATO agreement. Biden broke the NATO. So, for example, we said
You
that
think I
NATO would.
condone that? No.
Okay, Biden broke the agreement we had with Russia that NATO would not expand eastward. Finland joined NATO under Joe Biden. So
I'm not a Biden stan. I'm talking about America.
Okay, that's
no. Wait, what are you trying to say then? Tell me.
I'm disproving all of your points, and you're not even internalizing
all right,
it. Okay,
tell me one more time. I'm super listening.
Okay, again, man, like you're a perfect example. And I'm going to say this as lovingly as I can.
Inform me.
You're a perfect example of someone who thinks you know everything about a topic, and you know literally nothing about a
I
topic.
literally said I didn't know 3 things.
So thank you for your time.
Really? You're not going to inform me?
Thank you. We spent enough time on it. Thank you.
Scared at.
He should take a Hillsdale College online course. CharlieForHillsdale.com. Yeah.
All right, guys, so thank you so much for watching. It's Charlie, and it was really very intriguing and very overwhelming. Now, I noticed Charlie was kind of very careful with his words. Charlie was trying to be very careful when he was talking about this US and the Russia and of a thing. Now, the thing is that US and Russia are like enemies. This is one thing we need to know. US and Russia are like enemies, and at the same time, they are friends. I don't know if that sound okay to the ear. They are enemies at the same time. They are friends because truth be told, the both of them need each other to survive. Russia need US and US need Russia. Even though US don't like Russia, and at the same time Russia don't like US, they just need each other to coexist. And Trump is putting in a lot to make sure that Russia bend, but they are big nations and they are large. We need to understand that Russia is a big name. It's a big country. In as much as Trump is trying its best to make Russia bend or adjust in a certain way, but Russia is a big country. So they have this nuclear and they are very, very clever and they are very, very smart. Russia has also helped US during its fight with Germany. And we all know that even if Trump wants to bring out some rules, he still needs to be very, very careful because there are limits to where your power can go. US is really trying its best to help Ukraine, and you know this war has lasted for about 2 years and they actually need to put an end to this. So US is taking their hands off Ukraine. You know, I think that's the best thing to do because a lot of people have died, and if US don't take their hands off Ukraine, there's still gonna be a lot of bloodshed. I don't know if I'm making sense. So if they continue the war will not end. Russia is ready to give their all. So we just need a way to settle this entire war and conflict, but not in the point of view that this guy is bringing. His point of view will only bring war, bring disaster, bring enmity between both countries. I really don't know if I'm making sense, but then if you observe Charlie in this particular conversation, Charlie was very, very decent with his words. He was just trying not to say some certain things. You know, political stuff like this, you need to be careful when speaking. So I don't have much to say. You guys, who am I? So I need your comments in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe, give us a huge thumbs up. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.